Hi everyone, happy spring. It may be spring on the calendar, but it certainly doesn't feel like spring outside. Oh, it's been so cold and I can't complain because I know a lot of my garden friends have had snow, but it's all to be expected. I did have to recover my fountains because I am taking no chances with those. So I'm really glad I did because it's filled with ice right now. It's been so cold, but I have one big change I wanted to share with you guys. This is newly completed. And I know I've talked about it and I wanted to show you from in here because I think you need to be able to see the perspective of the way things are moving along. So Mark and I installed just 2 fence panels yesterday. I've got a lot of work and tweaking and bed shaping and things to do. These are just put in here. We will not be putting an arbor in because I think visually this is enough. With such a small space, I don't want your eyes to be overly distracted. So no arbor here at all, just 2 simple fence panels. And what I'm going to do is end up planting my dahlias in the back and then plant lots of perennials in the front. So you know, whatever I can fit. Cone flowers, salvia, lots of perennials along the front for like a little cottagey look. So I'm really happy with it. I think it looks really nice. It really defines this space. I'll be moving the stepping stones because they don't make any sense right now. And maybe I'll divert them over to the greenhouse, like have it go from the back patio to the greenhouse. We'll see. I don't have to use them. They were really cheap, just stamped concrete pavers that I got from Home Depot probably 15 years ago. So I'll relocate them somewhere. They used to be back behind our trash cans area. So that's that. You know, someday, big plan, you know, stepping stones that are like bluestone or something really pretty, some kind of slate, you know, coming from the patio over to the greenhouse would be the ideal solution. But my bank account has not unlimited funds and unlimited plans, unfortunately, and things that I want to do. So I just wanted to show you from the inside. I think it looks really, really good. From the house, it looks really pretty. Looking out from the family room, and I think it really just defines this space and makes it feel like, okay, now you're in the vegetable garden. This is its own separate place. I can do my little, you know, whimsical hang the basket, which I already have up there. Let me just show you from the outside. Oh, first, I did replace those boxwoods I was telling you about that had the boxwood leaf miner. After 2 years of trying to fix this, I'm done. I seriously, it was just too much. And I felt like if they were becoming a host plant for the leaf miner and maybe going to infect my other boxwoods, I was done. You could actually hear them like a crackling, like a snap, crackle, pop. Seriously, when you walked over, you would just hear a little click, 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 and it was the sound of them eating my boxwood leaves from the inside out. And I replaced them with, these are those Cranberry Creek boxwoods that everybody's talking about now, and they look great. They were really reasonably priced. I got them on Amazon, and I'm really happy with them. I think they look better than the ones I had in there. So there's that. Just place them in their nursery cans for now. I still have to plant them. They came right as we were going to get some rain, so I just kind of plopped them down in there. But I will be planting those up soon, and I think they look great. So you really have to imagine that, you know, it's winter. We don't have things actively growing at the moment, but I'm going to make some beds all around the fences and have, like I said, perennials growing in front. So it's not just going to be 2 big panels floating like this. It'll be softened up by the plants all around it. And, you know, you'll see the dahlias floating above and then perennials in the front. So it's more just serving as just like a little division, a place where I can plant some things and have it seem, you know, like there's a purpose. And I'm not just throwing plants right in front of the vegetable garden. I really feel it was necessary. I really like the look of it. I think it looks pretty, simple, and just enough. And once that fountain is running and flowers are growing, it's really, really going to look beautiful. But as you can see, I have a lot of reshaping and tweaking to do, which leads me to this area with the knot garden. I am going to change it. What I'm going to change it to, I don't know. Something like this, but maybe smaller scale. You can see it's encroaching now on that. It's just really large, and a lot of maintenance I see in the future. Not that I'm not up for the maintenance, you know, but if I can make things maybe a little bit more toned down and simple here, then I'd like to do that. But we'll see. I don't know. I do want to paint the shed. We still have that on the agenda, but it has been absolutely torrential rain and cold, so we haven't been able to do any of the things that we wanted. We came out here in the wind and the cold yesterday to put these panels in. So they've literally just gone in the ground. So if you see anything that's off or funky and doesn't make sense, that's because these just went in. Another change, now you probably won't notice, but I had a Japanese maple in the back that was coming over the bench here in the back. Well, last year I moved it there. It was kind of where the obelisk is, and I just moved it over here. I don't know why. Look, sometimes you do things and you don't even know why you do it. I guess I thought it would be pretty to have a canopy over the bench, so that's what I did, but not really considering the fact that, you know, I've got the arborvitaes back here, and it's going to grow into the arborvitaes, of course. I could see that when I planted it, but I guess I thought it would be okay. Then I saw the branches were starting to get a little bit too close, and I didn't want to prune on it and ruin the shape of this beautiful tree. So last weekend, I went out and I dug up that tree one more time. Hopefully the third time is the charm, because I think it's the third time now I've moved it, honestly. But let me show you where I moved it. Arbor gone. I don't think I showed you this. So the arbor is gone, which I think opens up this whole space so much more. I still have to take the climbing rose out. But I felt like if I was putting those pickets in, it was too much to have an arbor here too. So I'm really trying to minimize visual obstructions that aren't plants, if that makes any sense. It's such a small space here. I don't want it to be visually abrasive and have too many obstacles and just no rest for your eyes, you know? So the Japanese maple I planted here. I had a couple comments on Instagram where people were angrily yelling at me in all caps that it was too close to the house. I assure you it's not. This is a blood-good Japanese maple. These are shallow-rooted trees that are ideal for foundation plantings that can be planted closer to your house. So do your research. I mean, you don't want to plant a giant maple at the corner of your house, but this tree, you know, your blood-good Japanese maple, and many Japanese maples are, you know, specifically perfect for this type of situation. So now, instead of having, you know, the plastic of the vinyl arbor, I feel like I brought a living canopy here. It was so underappreciated in the back by the arborvitaes that now, you know, we'll get to enjoy that canopy from all sides. You can see here how pretty it'll be. We're already able to really love the look of it through the window. It's really, really pretty. Prettier in person than I think I can capture on a video. But let me just back up like this. So now, see, it's nice and simple. It's, you know, those two panels are not obstructive or intrusive. And then once they're softened up by the plants, I think it's going to look really, really good. So no arbor. Bye-bye, arbor. Hello, pickets. And then the arbor that was here, we moved just over to our little side. This is where we keep our trash cans. Look at all the daffodils coming up, tulips coming up. But we moved it to right here, and it looks pretty. It just adds, that was always just a big empty void of a space that now I can grow something on, or not. I will, of course, but just having the structure there looks really pretty and charming, and it's set back. You know, I really like it there, and I felt I was able to still use it without having it be a main major focal point. It was always a remnant and a leftover from when we had our driveway. A couple of you had great feedback when I was talking about how I've never really felt right about this space. And they said, you know, you're not feeling it because it still kind of looks like a driveway. And they were right. There's a lot of gravel here. I think I need to really soften these edges instead of having everything be so blunt. Create some more curves in this space. And getting rid of the arbor that was a distinct entry point from our asphalt driveway also eliminates that driveway look, and it starts to make the spaces feel connected, like one garden instead of, you know, this is the end of something. It's such a small space. I really wish you guys could see, because when you're dealing in person with such a small and limited area, you really are restricted, and you have to be, you know, choosy in what you're doing. Otherwise things are just going to be like chaos, and I don't need chaos, not in the garden. So I'm really looking forward to this Japanese maple. I think it's going to be so beautiful. Fingers crossed that it made it. It does appear to have made it. It's been really good for a week now, and yeah, I'm very hopeful for that. The arborist did come out, and my neighbor, who's so gracious and kind, agreed to have the one major limb that is coming over the greenhouse, to have that removed. Maybe sometime down the line, they might consider taking the whole tree down. I hate to ask that, but again, it's a silver maple, and you guys even weighed in on that. Not the best tree. They will drop limbs. It grew up from, you know, a propeller, literally, and it's just not a really good tree. As far as the height, it's going to get maybe, I don't know, 80 feet, something crazy like that. And yeah, we'll see. I'm very grateful that the one limb is going to come off. So hopefully soon that will help make me feel a little bit less paranoid about having it come out and over like that. And then, of course, I got the October Glory that I planted over 10 years ago now. I was pregnant with my son Leo when I planted that tree. I can still remember thinking, someday you're going to look back and remember planting this when you were pregnant. And I do. And I planted that before that, just to give you some perspective. So this tree I planted before this one ever went in. The story behind that, and I've told it before, there was a Bradford pear, which we know is a horrible tree, an invasive species. We don't like the Bradford pear. Poo-poo, let's get rid of them. Again, weak branched. They're not native. They're just awful trees. And it actually crashed and collapsed and like broke through our old wood fence and fell into our yard. So when that came out, I think the neighbors a couple doors down gave my old neighbors a sapling, a tree that grew up from a propeller, which is this. And now you can see, yeah. So when I planted that maple, I never thought that it would be competing with this other maple. And if it was a better tree that wasn't so, you know, capable of dropping limbs and getting so massive, I wouldn't mind at all. I mean, and then sadly, I think my neighbor might have to have her evergreen taken down. Oh, that makes me really sad, because I love, love, love the look of that tree. But it is leaning badly. It's actually leaning against the shed back there and causing a lot of problems, actually into the roof, and causing like right now the shed has become a support for that massive evergreen. So safety is always the #1 concern. Sorry for all the noise out here. It's dogs and airplanes and so many sounds. But that's it. I just wanted to give you an update, because I felt like this was a major change with the Japanese maple, and then a big change with the fence panels and the arbor down too. So onward and upward. Lots of things to do this year. All right, thank you guys for watching this update. I hope you guys are able to enjoy your early spring and getting out there and gardening when you can, either in between raindrops or snowflakes or something. Thanks for joining me in the garden, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.